Welcome, everyone, to episode 62 of Around the Book podcast. This week, we have NFL Week 11 and college football Week 12. Slowly reaching the end of the college football season. The playoffs for college football are looking very interesting right now, and this week could be beneficial. It could be the end of a playoff berth for some. It could be the start of something new for others. And it's crazy to think the Big Ten is in the driver's seat right now of all these playoff spots. It's awesome. Uh, Never thought we'd see it. But anyone have any gripes from last week? I know I went 1-5 overall. I'm really pissed. I'm glad the one bet I did hit was my Georgia Tech underdog. So I was hyped about that. But other than that, I was hot garbage. So
Yeah. I literally could not get a single bet to hit in anything over the weekend. My college bets weren't even close. NFL had bad beats all Sunday. Between Sunday and Monday, between the Denver money line not hitting, Houston money line not hitting despite Jared Goff throwing 5 picks. And then my parlay, I was 2 for 3 on my parlay, with the one loss being Falcons -3.5 not covering, because speaking of not covering, the Falcons just could not cover a bunch of receivers that the Saints just found on the street.
MVS sighting 2024.
crazy.
Yeah, just brutal. And then to top it all off, I thought I was going to maybe save face with NASCAR a little bit. And then in a wild championship race finish, I think William Byron finished 3rd.
Yeah.
And Joey Logano won the race, and he was won the championship for.
Yeah, I have some of the same gripes that Dalton had with the Broncos money line. I thought I had it. Damn Chiefs figure their shit out every time.
Yeah.
I had Lions -3.5, which somehow Dalton and I both lost that one.
Yeah.
Nobody wins.
If that was the only bet that I lost in the NFL,
Well,
Lions, and it was by the 0.5. I was
so
so
literally
close.
everybody
6-0.
lost, Jake. Everyone in America lost. It just was a bad game to watch, and then also somehow no one's bets hit because
The sportsbooks won.
Sportsbooks really won that one. Falcons -3.5. Come on, we know that. Like, come on, guys. Like the Saints. This Saints got whatever.
Yeah.
Luckily, Carolina of all people and the Bills kind of came through for me. But yeah, it was not a great. Plus, I bet Jake's soul, and as we see, look what I did. Look what I did to him. Look at him.
He killed me.
I killed him. Now he has to talk to us from beyond the grave.
Yeah.
So, God.
No,
Also-
my 1-5 record in college football last week is what
Yeah.
they took my video privileges away.
Yeah.
I can't show my face anymore.
Yeah, everyone.
Oh,
Jake is
man.
here. He's just not on video. So
He's in spirit. Just
yeah.
BYU -3.5. That was. I'm like, come on.
Oh yeah, that one
BYU.
pissed me off.
Yeah, that
Come on,
hurt.
BYU.
Yeah, so let's go ahead.
It's a
Let's
mess.
get into it. Non-football picks. Anyone have anything?
No.
Couldn't bring myself to do it this week. Took
Yeah.
enough L's. Don't need
Yeah.
that anymore.
All right then. College football, week 12. Let's go ahead and get into our college football locks. So my lock of the week is going to be BYU -2.5. I like.
Same.
Hey, they're not going to hit them all, but they're
Yeah.
going to get back on track this week. Kansas has lost a step, even though I think they won. Didn't they win big last week or the weekend before, or something like that?
I don't remember who
They're
they beat,
better
but-
than they were earlier in the year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think BYU is going to get back on track, and -2.5. Give it to me. It's a lock.
Yeah, Kansas beat Iowa State last week.
That's right. That's what it was.
Which Iowa State, is that even a real team anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, every Big 12 team other than BYU is a fake good team.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just
That's
a bunch of fake good teams
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
with the leader of the pack being Colorado.
Yeah. Might as well be the mascot for that.
Might actually be in the Big 12 title game, though.
I think they're going to be, and they're
Yeah.
probably going to win, in my opinion, somehow. They're going to find a way to do it, just so we all
Honestly,
have to pay attention.
BYU is probably one of the teams that matches, that Colorado matches up pretty well with.
I know. That's why I'm like, I don't know. Might have to talk about Colorado Big 12 champs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
Yikes.
My lock is mostly just vibes here in the city of Pittsburgh right now. Not that I'm a super big fan of this team or anything like that, but Clemson minus 10.5 over Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's just not very good. I think we found that out recently, that they're not as good as maybe we thought they could be. And vibes aren't good. Vibes aren't good. That's kind of the main thing. And like Clemson they're still not great to me in any way, but they're significantly better than Pittsburgh probably. So it's like, just feels like Pittsburgh season is going to kind of just continue to hit that downhill grade and just kind of coast to the finish line, and they'll have to pick up the pieces next year.
I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought you were going to take Pitt plus points.
No. You don't get to lose to Virginia and then get my respect.
I was like, look at him. I was like, he's turning the ship.
If I was going to do that, I'd at least make it my upset pay. I'm not going to lock on that. Like, come on. No.
All right. My lock was also BYU.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm riding that with you, Casey. So another lock I have, though, is New Mexico State plus 38.5 against Texas A&M this week. I don't think this will be close, but New Mexico State has scored at least 30 points in 3 of their last 5. So I do think they can score enough to close. 38.5 is a lot of points.
It is.
And I remember, I forgot what team it was. I think I bet it was Kent State at like plus 48.5 earlier this year.
Yeah.
And that didn't work out too well, but I'm a bit more confident in this one, just only because New Mexico State can put points on the board at least.
Yeah.
I think they can score enough to keep it at like somewhere in the 20 to 30 point game.
Yeah, I mean, even like a 45-10 game still covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Kent
I'll
State
be really
isn't
disappointed.
real.
This is the second time I've taken a huge like plus number spread. So if it also doesn't work out, I'm
Positive
just
vibes.
never going to do it again.
Positive vibes. Positive vibes.
Positive vibes.
All right. So for my lock this week, I'm going Oregon minus 14 at minus 112 at Wisconsin, just because I don't think Wisconsin's very good. They're just kind of a mess. And Oregon's been on a roll. They've kind of really started to put the hammer down on teams. And I just don't see them. I don't see this game being very close at all. I'd be surprised if it stayed within 20. But yeah, Ducks are the best team in the country right now. I expect them to continue to roll for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Unfortunately, that's also on my list for later. So, part of my parlay, because I know Wisconsin's ass. I'm aware. Yeah, Oregon, Wisconsin used to be fun. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Do you remember years ago? Oh yeah. Upset puppers.
They don't.
He did not agree.
They don't have the star running back right now. That's the problem.
No.
Or an offensive line that can block for him.
Yeah, Walker's good. He's just not great. The line is fine. It's not great. Like the tackles are good. I don't think anything else is good.
It's just not what it once was.
No, it's not. It's not as what it once was.
All right. Sorry, guys.
You're good.
It's storming here, so I think that's why my dog just freaked out. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into our favorite picks of the week. And this is a game I think is one of those kind of play-in games. Like if either Georgia or Tennessee loses, one of these teams, this could be the end of their year. So I'm taking Tennessee plus 10.5. Georgia has been very shaky. The SEC has been very shaky this year. So if you're going to give me a touchdown, a field goal, and half a point, I'm going to take that, especially in this game. So Tennessee plus 10.5, even though it's at Georgia.
I like it.
I like it.
I have that in my parlay, and I'll also be talking about that a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah. My favorite bet. Unfortunately, I'm gonna ride it again. I will say they might be on my ban list if this doesn't, because this would be, I think, the third straight time that I bet on them and they fail me. I'm just going by BYU like you guys, minus 2.5. It feels like, I know Kansas has been playing better, but like, so this is the version of Kansas that was fun a couple years
Yeah.
ago. Like, you're even like, this is not that Kansas. So I just think BYU's a much better team, and I think they can cover minus 2.5. They keep giving them these lines. I'm like, I'm gonna keep taking the lines. It's just gonna keep happening until they actually like lose. Especially, give me the line. So minus 2.5.
Nice. Yeah, so me and Casey are pretty like-minded today. The one I was going to put in here was also Tennessee, plus 10.5. So we're either going to have a good Saturday or a very bad Saturday.
I know for damn sure you don't have my underdog, so
I'm excited to hear it now. So one other bet I love is Missouri plus 12.5 against South Carolina. I don't think Missouri wins this game. They've been exposed as being pretty ass recently. I am honestly kind of surprised that they're still in the top 25. But I think they're pretty evenly matched with South Carolina. I think South Carolina wins, especially at home. But I think it's closer than a 12.5 point game.
Yeah.
I'll hate that. All right, so this is gonna be a weird favorite bet this week, because I'm playing Russian roulette with some great value.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Give me Syracuse money line at plus 235 against Cal. I mean, the value is just incredible. The value is incredible for Cal, who has not been impressive in any way, shape, or form. I believe they lost to FSU earlier this year. Like, they are not a good football team, and Syracuse is either a good football team or a terrible football team. It really just mostly comes down to how Kyle McCord is feeling that week. But yeah, to me, this is at worst a toss-up game, and plus 235 in a toss-up. I'll take a plus 235 coin flip every day of the week. I just couldn't pass up that value.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time someone bet on Syracuse, he may or may not have thrown 5 interceptions in a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I'm hoping that does not happen to you, Phelps.
Did you ever get back?
I'm fully
that
aware that
person?
it's a 50-50 shot of something like that happening.
Yeah, I mean, his next 2 games were much better. Not that you could get worse than that. But
Which also means he might be due for another stinker, but
it's true.
we'll see.
True.
Yeah. Jared Goff ass game.
At least Jared Goff won.
Yeah.
At least Jared Goff has a team good enough to win.
Right.
True.
Right.
All right. So let's get into our underdogs, and I'm going to feel stupid as hell for saying this one. But give me Wisconsin over the Oregon Ducks.
Let's go. Let's go.
So what every team that is undefeated has taken a step down, or has gone down this year. Indiana probably will see their time against Ohio State, possibly, is what everyone's predicting. Oregon, I think they'll take care of business against Washington. So why not Wisconsin? It makes no sense.
I can tell you why not.
I know. There's a million reasons why not, but there's a few reasons why. I can't tell you what those reasons why are.
There you go.
I'm just telling you that the football gods are looking on this game. It's in Madison. Let's take Wisconsin at plus 420.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to be upset about it. So
Yeah.
we'll see. This one just felt like this feels like it's building to this point where Georgia's not going to be a part of the college football playoff
Oh
picture.
God, I know.
I'm taking Tennessee money line. I don't know how great I think Tennessee really is, but I think that Georgia it doesn't feel right in Athens right now, and I think a lot of it. We could joke about like Stetson Bennett and some of the stuff that's happened to him since leaving Georgia, but Carson Beck's not it right now, man. He simply isn't it, and even at the college level where quarterback play isn't quite as much of a factor as it would be in the NFL, it's really dragging this team down. He's not playing confident football, and I think that against Tennessee, that's going to continue.
Yeah, and the rest of that team is just not as.
It's not the same
star talent.
Yeah, it's not the same Georgia team.
You don't have, several future All Pros on that.
Right. You might have a couple guys who have a really good, track record, or might have a good one.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead. Sorry.
I just don't get the line on this is incredible.
It is very.
It feels like a toss up. Plus 295 is wild. This is also my upset pick.
I figured,
Yeah. I think Georgia's highlight of the year will be their win over Texas. I think that's kind of what they can hang their hat on this year, and they're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah. They still might make the playoff.
They could, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Yeah.
Jake, what did you go? Did you give your
dog? I'm taking Navy money line at plus 202 against Tulane this week. They were ranked, and then they had a pretty rough skid, but they figured some things out last week. They won 28-7, and it's against South Florida, so it's not the mightiest opponent, but they did look a lot better, and it looks like they're starting to right the ship a bit.
The ship.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Nice.
Oh, I was going to say that was smooth.
Tulane's pretty good. They're 8-2. I mean, they're top 25 now. They've got some good wins. But I just think these teams are pretty evenly matched. I still think Navy is a pretty good team, and at plus 202, I think it's pretty good value.
And the Navy ships handle the green wave.
So I have Tulane -7 in my parlay. So
me and Dalton always have one pick like per episode. Just
Dalton has one in the chamber every week for Jake to be like,
right,
you thought that. Okay, well, guess what?
All right, let's get into our parlays then. Dalton, you had Tennessee, right?
Yeah, so I got Tulane -7.
Yeah.
Tennessee -10.5. I have BYU -3.
Tennessee -10.5 or Tennessee plus 10.5?
Or Tennessee plus 10.5, sorry.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
He's like, I'm really going for it. They're not just going to win.
I got Louisville -20 against Stanford.
Oh, yeah, Stanford.
That one scared me.
Yeah. And I got those with the odds boost. That's at plus 1447.
Nice. I got with mine. Got to do my classic 6 now instead of 7 because I'm trying to bring it down a little bit. Not that it's helping at all, but whatever. Clemson -10.5. I had UCLA plus 4.5. UCLA playing a lot better football in recent weeks. Washington not so much. Kind of feel like that game could be kind of close, even if Washington does win. Tennessee money line, like I mentioned. Oregon -14.5 because it's Wisconsin. BYU -2.5 and Michigan State plus 2.5 because fuck Illinois. That one. That was fuck Illinois for Dalton.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty much that one. I don't actually have any idea. I don't think either team is very good.
Yeah, Illinois is falling off.
I got.
Well, it's simple. They don't have a quarterback. Altmaier sucks.
Yeah,
not good.
All right, Jake, what do you have?
So I have Navy plus 202, like I just said. Florida money line at plus 146 against LSU. And then I have Tennessee plus 10.5, Missouri plus 12.5. And then I took the BYU line, same as you, Casey.
Yeah.
And then, it was New Mexico plus 38.5.
Yeah.
Nice one to round it out.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, the odds on mine was plus 10,076, so healthy.
Ooh,
on the
yeah.
6 leg.
Nice.
Yeah, Tennessee money line's doing a lot of the heavy lifting
Yeah.
on that one. So
Hey, it's all right. At least you don't have Tennessee minus 10.5.
Crazy
we
alternate
should,
line.
we should just, we should do an episode of just alternate lines.
Yeah.
Sounds just like
Maybe the last week
how much
rivalry week we just start doing alternate lines.
God, I've already donated enough money this year.
Yeah. All right.
The books would probably be thrilled to see us do that.
You'd be
Yeah.
like more, give me more.
Yeah. All right. So NFL Week 11. Let's go ahead and get into our locks. My lock is the Cincinnati Bengals plus 1.5 at the Chargers on Sunday night.
Ooh.
I think the Bengals defense is not great, but the Chargers offense is not great, and the Bengals offense is really good. And the Chargers defense is just okay. So I think the Bengals offense can do a lot of the heavy lifting on this game, and I think the Bengals could do an alternate line, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to take the plus 1.5 on this one.
Yeah, this is kind of a must-win for the Bengals.
Yeah, it is. If the Bengals lose this one, it's done probably.
Yeah, and well,
I know there's one guy in here that doesn't care about that.
yeah. My lock is the Chargers plus or minus 1.5. I think that the Chargers defense is good enough to limit this Bengals offense to at least keep them in check. And
Yeah.
more importantly, I think right now Justin Herbert is playing out of his skull for this team. And I think he can do enough with that offense versus that defense to kind of offset anything the offense for the Bengals might be able to do. I do think this is going to not necessarily end the Bengals' chances because the AFC is kind of fucked up right now, the back half of it. But I do think it's going to put a huge dent into it. And I think, honestly, am I a Steelers fan? Yeah. Do I kind of have some amount of bias potentially? Yes. But I also think it's probably for the best if the Bengals don't make the playoffs this year because I think that might be enough to change some things even for the Bengals. And
Yeah.
stuff needs to change a little bit with this team. So might be doing you guys a favor if you don't win this.
Yeah.
I like it. My lock this week is the Bills minus 2.5 against the Chiefs.
You're not going to learn from us from last week.
I swear it's going to be right this week. The Bills are getting the Chiefs at home, which it didn't matter in the playoffs last year, but it's always good to have, Bills Mafia behind your back. But I just think this is a game the Chiefs lose.
Oh, my God. He took the spread and everything.
I'll talk about that game in a little bit.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is I don't know if I feel great about the Void telling us that the Chiefs are going to lose. Finally.
Listen to
Jake,
the Void.
Jake, were you on the Denver game with us last week? Were you on the Denver side?
No, I don't think I bet that game.
Okay,
Well,
but
that
the
is
rest of
brutal.
us did.
If someone-
All three of us, the other three of us did. So
That was
The Chiefs are
heartbreaking.
that just shows how due the Chiefs are for a loss, though.
dude,
like
we've
that-
been saying that for the past
I
3
disagree.
weeks.
I know, but it has to happen this time. I don't understand.
Or
how they
this
can
is
I
win
one
think
of
they
those-
can't lose.
Yeah. What did I
It's like
say?
it's not possible. Like there's some type of bad juju out there. There's some devil
Yeah, he
magic.
plays
going on.
receiver for him.
Hold
dude.
on.
Of course there is.
There's
That's
I'm
what you
gonna
on the team right now.
I'm gonna find it and clip it. There's like week 4 or 5. I end the show and I say the Chiefs are gonna go undefeated and lose in the Super Bowl, and then the episode cuts out. And you're like, no, that's not gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen.
God damn it. Yeah.
No, this is the time that Josh Allen beats Mahomes.
He might,
There's no better. I know the Chiefs are undefeated, but the Bills, to me, just have looked so much better.
all right,
Yeah.
Jake. Well,
I don't know. We'll see. I'll ban the Chiefs, but just betting against them
Yeah.
if they lose. If this
All
doesn't
right,
win.
Jake. Well, next week, guys, when Jake has to do the same admission like we did from last week.
Dude, he has to post an apology video to
Yeah.
Twitter. I'm sorry.
You should not have listened to the void.
Yeah.
The void is spoken, and he was not right.
All right, Dalton.
All right, so I'm taking Ravens Steelers this week. I'm taking the under 48 at -110. This is just, I know, especially Baltimore's offense is a lot more high flying than normal, but this is still Ravens Steelers. In their last 5 meetings, not a single game has gone over 30 in their last 5 meetings. The highest scoring game they've played in those 5 meetings is 16-14 back in 2022. That's the highest scoring game these two teams have played in the last several years. They don't play high scoring games. I think this is going to be a lot of Najee Harris and Derrick Henry. There's not going to be a lot of excitement in this one. It's going to be run heavy, defense heavy, boring as hell, classic AFC North football.
What was the line on it?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
48.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Well, hold on, Shane. Before I want you to say something, but let's get into our favorites. I love the over 48.5 in this game.
There we go.
That is my favorite bet this week is the over, and I got it at 48.5. So now, Shane, go ahead and please make me feel better about
Okay,
this
so
bet.
what I was going to say is my counterpoint is all of those games that you just mentioned, Dalton, the Steelers were being piloted offensively by the combination of Matt Canada and a collection of quarterbacks who I shall not name. Just saying. That is a fact. Hey, when Flacco and Ben were back, not saying these two are like, obviously Lamar, but like I'm not saying that this is going to be those games. But there was a couple games in kind of like the late teens where there was like 35, 34. Like these teams are capable of scoring points against each other. It just hasn't happened recently.
Yeah.
Just
I
saying.
mean, I don't think it'll be 17-10 like it's been the last 2 games.
Yeah.
But I can see 24-20. Like
my
that would be a
prediction,
high scoring game to me.
Yeah, to give you my prediction on my show today was 27-24.
27-24. I don't like that.
Yeah, that was my prediction. Yeah,
I don't like that.
Well, I know you don't like it because that would make you lose your bet.
I love it. I love it.
I think it's going to be closer to that. Like you could still go either way, but I think the 48.5 is fair considering where both these teams are at offensively compared to where they normally are. Well, especially the Steelers. Yeah, it's the Steelers usually. So,
and the Ravens defense is just
that's the other thing is especially the Ravens defense is not quite the same level it typically would be at in this matchup.
Yeah,
Giving up the most passing yards in the league.
Yeah, and they're going to be missing some guys this week. That's just going to make it even harder.
Could start to being a classic one for sure because it's these teams, but just an interesting thought to throw out there.
Let's see.
Well, I just love that we have the contrast there, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Shane, what's your favorite pick of the week?
My favorite one, I got to do it. And this is a combination of needing this to stop, and I feel like the only way to get it to stop is to stop trying to fight against it and just give into it. And that's the Kansas City Chiefs plus 2.5.
Oh, my God.
The only way to end this is to just feed into be like, yeah, you know what, Chiefs, you're right. You are going to win every game. I'm going to take you in every game until they don't. Because clearly betting against them isn't working, guys. We are not helping the cause
until
the
this
NFL. Yeah, so now we're fighting against each other though too, because now Jake's sticking around with the non-Chiefs pick. Maybe it'll offset and nothing will happen. Maybe they'll tie. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
But anyway, give me Chiefs plus 2.5.
Yeah, I mean, now you just look like a piece of crap for betting on them.
Oh yeah, which is fine. I'm fine with that.
I mean,
all right, Jake.
All right.
Sorry, Don. Sorry, Don.
I'll let Jake go.
All right, back to the Steelers. My favorite bet of the week is the Steelers plus 3. Or I don't know. I didn't see what their money line was at, but I would take that too. I think they beat the Ravens this week. I don't really. I know the Ravens look like a better team at the moment, so I understand why they're favored. But I think the Steelers match up pretty well, if they can stop the run, because they kind of gotten run on a little bit, especially against the Giants. So Derrick Henry will be a problem. Lamar will be a problem on the ground. But the Ravens' pass defense is just so bad. And I think Mike Williams is one of the most underrated additions at the deadline. He only had one catch last week, but it was a big one. And that kind of gives a glimpse of, what his role in the offense could be. And especially since Russell Wilson came over, the Steelers have been pushing the ball down the field a lot more. And I think that matches up well against a Ravens team that just hasn't been able to stop the pass. But yeah, I didn't see what Steelers money line was at, but I think it's going to be a close game, and the Steelers are at home, so I think it's worth it to take the money line. But I know for sure that I do like the Steelers +3.
I feel like I shouldn't comment, just for the trying to stay away from this game a little bit. But no, I think specifically this game is one of the more interesting ones that these teams have played against each other in the last few years, because it feels like both offenses are capable of pretty much, especially against when you factor in the difference of the Ravens defense versus the Steelers defense right now, both offenses are capable of doing probably whatever they want to a certain degree if the Steelers can't stop Derrick Henry to some degree, right? Like that's kind of the key thing, like you said. If they can lean on him, then it becomes a problem, because Lamar is much better of a player than we've faced in previous iterations of him, especially like last year. He easily could have destroyed us in the first game that he actually played if his receivers could catch a ball.
Yeah.
Most Steelers fans are forgetting the fact that they're like, oh, Lamar can't beat us. It's like, yeah, he struggled in the past against us, but that game easily could have been like 3 touchdowns, no picks, and like this is not the same like Lamar we played last like a couple years ago, especially. So it's going to be an interesting game. I do think these teams split this year, unlike last couple of years. So
yeah,
I think if you're just playing that, then it makes sense to pick them at home. But it's a weird. We know this series is weird. Like they've won 7. The Steelers won 7 out of 8 games recently. Like that doesn't.
Isn't this the Steelers' first division game?
Yes.
Yeah. They have all their division games still.
That's crazy.
They have all their division games, and then they have the Eagles and the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's a wild schedule back half. It's wild.
Yeah, that is a hot. Yeah, okay.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
They just got to win for like 4, and they'll be good.
Yeah.
3 even would be enough to make the playoffs, but 4 feels good.
Yeah.
So for my favorite bet, we're going back to the other game we've been talking about, Bills Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
I'm taking Chiefs money line at +110. I just at this point, I just think there's something. I mean, part of it is I think the tinfoil hat theory is that these games are somewhat fixed, and that
man, what team is Dalton a fan of? Wait, let me check that.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way: there's at least a bias. I mean, there's a clear officiating bias that's undeniable. But that had nothing to do with last week. That was some devil magic. I mean, that's Taylor Swift setting fire to locks of DeAndre Hopkins' hair or some shit.
That was tough as
weird. There's some weird
as a Raiders fan.
Devil magic happening in Kansas City. But yeah, you give me plus odds on the Chiefs to win, I'm gonna take it. I think from here on out.
Yeah.
That's just how it's gonna have to be. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm donating $5 to see them lose, which I'm all
right.
for.
That's kind of my thing too. Is like if we can at least make them lose, at least we can then safely kind of pick them however we want moving forward, because it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, when they win, everyone can say we hate you.
Yeah.
But you guys will win money. So
I will say, just this is just future like situation. If the Chiefs are 15-0 when they play the Steelers, I will pick the Steelers to beat them. If they aren't 15-0, I will pick the Steelers to lose. That is a guarantee. I don't care what either team is doing at the time. I don't care if Patrick Mahomes is like his legs backwards and he can't play for a while or something. I don't really care what the situation is. I'm only picking them based on that. That's the only thing I'm picking.
Okay.
So tune in for that week.
All right, we know now. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our underdogs. Dalton, Jake, you're gonna love this. I'm taking the Raiders money line at Miami.
Why?
I just want to see the world burn at +270. I don't know. It just makes too much sense for this to happen. I just want to see Max Crosby just wreak havoc on the field. So I'm taking.
Didn't you hear he's getting traded still?
That
Right?
makes me,
Yeah.
that actually makes me feel. I don't know if it makes me feel better or worse because I also took that as my underdog.
Oh
I
yeah.
got 300. I took it because I'm a masochist and I just hate
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just love to suffer, I guess. There's something just wrong with me. But in all seriousness, the Raiders, I think, can at least contain Tyreek Hill long enough for Max Crosby to be a problem against that offensive line that is not good. And I also do think like Tua is snap to snap at this point. The way with how fragile he is and how reckless he is with his body. Did you guys see him
Yeah.
after that pick last week?
Yeah.
Try to tackle somebody and just basically got kicked in the head.
Yeah, I don't want to wear
Listen.
guardian cap.
Listen. When Tua gets the ball out of his hand, okay, I think it should be illegal for him. Like it should be penalized. Like the Dolphins should get a penalty on the field if he doesn't lay down flat and cover his head with his hands, like tornado drill style. Like if he doesn't do that after every play, it doesn't matter what the circumstance. Like after he hands off, after he throws the pass, whatever, he has to like get into a fetal position and like cover his head with his arms like this. And if he doesn't do it, they get like a 15-yard penalty. Like I'm at that point because I'm tired of seeing that shit every week. Like, is he gonna die?
He tried to make a tackle and just got kneed right
there
in the
are
head.
quarterbacks who are bigger, faster, and stronger than him who don't try to tackle the guy on the interception.
Yeah.
And he does it for some reason.
And he dove head first in the dude's leg.
Yeah.
I think he has
It's like the
levels of
one thing
CTE
you
yet
don't want him
not
to do right there.
diagnosed.
Yeah.
Like
All of your quarterbacks that last like 15, 18 years,
they
whenever
fall
they
on the
throw an
ground and they're about to get
interception,
sacked.
yeah, whenever they throw an interception, they just instantly run to the sideline. They're like, I'm not even dealing with this.
Yeah.
Like he's like, nah, I'm putting my
And
body on the line.
instead, now we have the most fragile quarterback since Andrew Luck has decided that he's going to keep just putting himself into harm's way over and over and over.
And at least Andrew Luck was like hurting his leg and shit. Like getting to his head doesn't like his scrambled eggs in that sucker, man. There's no way.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's affecting the decision making.
I don't know. I don't think his family would be the type to do this, but that head's got to go to science, bro.
Yeah.
His brain's got to go to the
100%.
lab when he's done because I need to know what the hell it looks like in there, man. Like, God,
100%.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
looks like honeycomb at this shit. At this fucking, it's like, what are we doing? Anyway,
Mashed potatoes.
Yeah. Anyway,
I wish I was as optimistic as you guys are about the Raiders.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins are good, so I see the reasoning, but I can't. I don't believe that Gardner Minshew can win a football game right now.
Yeah.
If it was Desmond Ritter, I would probably take it, but
Which
yeah.
what does that mean to us? You know.
Yeah.
Desmond Ritter is also bad, but I feel like he's bad, but I haven't seen him play bad in a Raiders uniform yet, so I still have one inkling that's like maybe he can win a game or two.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He's change of scenery.
Bad in a mystery flavor.
Yeah. It's like you can either have Gardner Minshew or the box, and the box might be Gardner Minshew.
Somewhere in between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell.
Yes.
Somewhere in there.
Athletic Aiden O'Connell.
All right, Shane, who's your dog?
Mine's kind of it's honestly, I feel bad about taking it because it kind of feels like free, and I know Dalton's probably going to not feel this way, but give me Colts money line at the Jets.
Oh, I love that.
Richardson's coming back. He's going to try to play with his hair on fire, I think.
Yeah.
Whether that means good or bad things, I'm not entirely sure, but I think they might be able to hand the ball off 70 times and just win because the Jets defense is ass, which is sad. It makes me really sad, honestly. Like, just that the Jets make me sad in general, but that's just because they exist. But specifically, the Jets defense makes me sad, and frankly, I'm not picking the Jets to win a game anymore. Like the rest of the year, in my opinion, probably.
I
If
could
they're-
not believe I picked the Jets to win the division in my future.
Hey, I mean, you were not the only one. Trust me.
Yeah.
I
This
mean, I
aged
didn't. I didn't
horribly.
do it, but other people did.
Yeah, if there were a time to trial run unbanning the Colts, this would be the week to do it.
Yeah.
Because the Jets are they are in full Jets mode right now.
Richardson got his
Yeah.
break. He just needed a break.
Yeah, he should be really well rested right now.
Yeah.
Works for Bryce Young.
Yeah, he's at least a quarterback that sort of
Yeah.
looks like an NFL player right
But
now.
that's all they need Anthony Richardson to do. Be
Yeah.
able to make the basic throws that every other quarterback in the league can make.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think that's his strong suit.
Yeah, do you think it'd be funny if they literally were like, "We're gonna put you back in, but you're not allowed to throw"? Like,
You can
Or they're-
only throw more than 50.
yeah,
yards
you have to
down
throw the
field.
ball
Yeah.
mandatory 40+ yards, or else you're
Yeah.
not allowed to throw it.
Only flea flickers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Just
he's like 12 for like 52. That's like 500 yards. It's like
Alec
what the
Pierce
fuck?
is running
Yeah,
70
it's
yards down the field on
actually-
every play.
yeah. What their offense every play is an RPO for Jonathan
Yeah.
Taylor. He
Yeah.
just gets the ball and decides
Yeah.
if he's gonna keep going or toss it back to
Yeah,
Richardson.
he has to like
Yeah.
look over the line and see if they're covering the receivers or not.
Yeah.
It's-
Like try to throw it at the top of the roof of Lucas Oil.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Jake, who's your dog this week?
So my dog was gonna be the Colts also. So I'm riding with that
Oh,
one.
yeah.
I have one more. It's gonna be Commanders money line at plus 176.
Okay.
I like that.
I think the
Should be a good game.
Commanders can still win the division. They had a tough loss last week, but that was the first game I feel like that we've seen Jaden Daniels look a little bit like a rookie,
Yeah.
and they still only lost to one of the best teams in the league at this point by a point. So I don't know. I just think this is pretty good value. The Eagles could win this game, but I think these teams are too evenly matched, and I like what I've seen from the
Yeah.
Commanders. Obviously, they've been very surprising. I think this is pretty good value for a 7-win team at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
like
agree.
that.
And the Eagles also don't inspire me that much.
No.
I don't know what because they've had a good run recently since their early season struggles, but some about them I just don't really fully believe. in.
Sirianni will.
That's probably it.
it's Sirianni. He will eventually just get in his own way.
Also, like watching Jalen Hurts play quarterback right now is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like, there's pretty much just like, all right, go ball to AJ Brown, go ball to Devontae Smith,
Yeah.
slant to AJ Brown, crosser to Devontae Smith. Like, it's just a weird, like, he can do like 4 things well right now and like
Yeah.
kind of sort of run, but not as well as he used to. It's a weird offense. It's basically Saquon Barkley's like, don't worry, I got
Yeah.
it. I'm gonna jump over a dude backwards.
Yeah.
We haven't even
That
talked
was-
about that
yeah.
play. What the hell was that about? Still, I still
Yeah.
can't stop thinking about that play.
That's just athleticism.
So the Eagles are a weird. Yeah, the defense is really what the catalyst for them right now. Like they're playing really well defensively with
Yeah.
Fangio. So like, I like it though because Commanders are a really good team. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do think so.
All right, parlays for the NFL. Who's got them?
I got them.
You got one.
Let's hear it.
My 6-legger, of course. So we got the Colts money line, Falcons plus 2.5, Chiefs plus 2.5, Chargers minus 1.5. Sorry, Casey.
That's right.
Browns plus 1.5 because I think the Saints got their one coaching change win, and then they're going to go back to being the Saints, which is somehow maybe worse than the Jameis Winston Browns. I don't know. It's a weird game, but I just took the Browns because I think it'd be funny if they won that one. Also, Jameis revenge game, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, getting replaced sort of, kind of by Derek Carr is a weird thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's whatever. I don't think he cares that much. He might
He's
not
a good
have ever
guy.
played there. Let's be honest. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's possible. And then this one I had to take simply because I think that they kind of got the bad stuff out of the system a little bit with the game against the Texans. Lions minus 13.5 at with the Jaguars coming into town. With I presume Mac Jones is still starting, correct?
Yep.
Lawrence is like maybe done for the year, I heard potentially.
Yeah.
There's never been a deader team than the Jaguars without. And I know Trevor Lawrence hasn't exactly been great this year or anything like that, but he might have been the thing that kind of made them a real team sometimes, occasionally when he was playing well. You don't have him anymore. This team is bad. They are just not good. So
What? No faith in Mac?
I have about as much faith in Mac Jones as I do in Tua's skull, like correctly staying in place, which means 0%. So there you go.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Jake, you got a parlay?
Yeah, so I got the Commanders plus 176. Colts
Plus
plus
176. They only
162.
have to stay within 176 points.
Oh, money line, my
Sorry,
bad.
I'm just messing.
That'd be the greatest line ever.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
that's an alternate line for the ages
I'll take out the biggest line I could find on that.
to make 2 cents. On
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Commanders plus
$70,000
200.
Yeah.
Minus like 20,000 odds.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I got Colts plus 162, Steelers plus 3, Falcons plus 2.5, Bills minus 2.5, and Packers minus 5.5 against the Bears. I think the Packers are going to beat the Bears by 20 points.
Do we
Yeah.
think the coaching change, even if it's not a head coaching change, maybe affects the Bears a little bit, or do we think it doesn't matter?
I don't think it matters, but they could.
No, I
win
think
the
the
cup.
vibes are so bad with that team.
I agree
that it doesn't
that's
matter.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
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 Because they know that whole staff is gone next year. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that's
locker room, there's
Yeah.
no way Matt Eberflus can look anyone in the eye in that locker room and say, yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
be back next year.
Also,
We're
I'm pretty
building
sure-
something together.
I'm pretty sure Keenan Allen basically said that Shane Waldron's problem is that he was too nice of a guy, which I don't know how I'm supposed to really feel about that description. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I'm whatever.
I don't know. But yeah, in my parlay this week, I also have Packers minus 5.5 because Bears have one of the worst run defenses in the league, and the Packers run the ball exceptionally well. And I think they're gonna ice that game really easily. And then I've got the Texans minus 7.5 against the Cowboys because the Cowboys are on fire.
Talk about
They
a dead
are- that
game.
whole organization is crumbling before our eyes.
Yeah.
And this is a get right game for the Texans, I think. And then finally, I got Niners minus 6.5 against Seattle because I think the 49ers are finally starting to get back into the swing of things. And I don't think the Seahawks are that good. I just really don't. Those 3 picks parlayed together are at plus 595.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Dalton, I don't know if you ever bet in favor of the 49ers. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have.
No, I don't think you have.
Speaking of the Cowboys, real quick,
Oh, no. Here we go.
I have something I'd like to say
All right,
to,
here we go.
to the Cowboys, and I have to put the hat on so that way Jerry hears me because I think he only sees people who have Cowboys stuff on. Jeez. I just there's a comment he made about the stadium and the
Which
light
one?
situation. Yeah, the sun problem. You know,
Oh, God.
the thing that made CeeDee Lamb like not catch a touchdown. Not that it would have mattered
Yeah.
at all, but like, you know. And he said something along the lines of like he thought it would be an advantage for the team. And my only question about that is like when you're on the field, right? Like the quarterback faces one way, and the receiver, outside of like over the shoulder catches, is facing the opposite way. Right? So no matter what, Jerry, someone's getting fucked by the sun in the eyes.
Mhm.
So what advantage did you think? Did you think your players could just like not be affected by the sun and the other team's players
Yeah.
would? Like
Why
Science.
just it north to south? Why'd they build it east to west?
All right,
Jake,
Jake, that makes too much sense. Chill out. Chill
yeah,
out.
I just
I honestly thought that was weird.
That makes too much sense, dude. Chill
yeah,
out.
I just when I saw him say that, I was like, Jerry Jones surely knows how the sun works, right? Like he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's got to know.
Well, and like it's not just that. Like it's the weird giant jumbotron that gets in the way of punts.
Yeah.
Sometimes he turned his stadium into like a mini golf
Yeah,
course, and it's like all that does. It can't give you an advantage. All it does is create more variance in the
Yeah.
game, and you have to play there 8 or 9 times. Everyone else only has to play there
Yeah.
once. Like it hurts you.
Yeah, I just
Like I don't
yeah.
get how he can't.
When I
see
saw,
that.
well, he can't see it because the sun's in his eyes. That's why I can't see it,
Yeah.
dog. But,
I set
but
myself
you,
up.
like,
I set myself
like
up.
it's just I
can't
don't
believe
understand how he
that
comes
one.
out like after it's clearly a problem and just goes, well, I thought the sun would be in it. It's like,
Yeah.
Jerry, the sun hurts everybody's eyes.
He's like, we know where the sun is. Obviously.
Yeah, it's like we know. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah, are you gonna like slant the offense to the
Yeah.
side and play like horizontally for part of the game? Like, what are you talking about?
No curls.
Yeah, what do you mean, dude? Like,
He is officially in his like 2000s
Yeah.
Al Davis
Yeah.
phase.
it's just weird. I felt like I had to address the fact that Jerry Jones doesn't know how the sun works, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's something important to consider when you're talking about the Cowboys.
Growth
I
actually
genuinely
tougher than the
don't
sun.
understand why they built it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Jerry was like big, flashy, do it,
Yeah.
and that was the directions. They're like, all right, I don't
Yeah.
know.
All right, let's get into our touchdown parlay here. We didn't hit last week. That just means we're due this week. And speaking of due this week, the guy I picked is Justin Jefferson at plus 100. Hasn't had a touchdown in the last 3 weeks. He is due. Shane did bring up a good point. He doesn't get the end zone very often throughout the season. Has tons of yards, tons of catches, tons of great plays. But I think he gets in the end zone this week. He is due, especially against his Titans team.
I like it.
Yeah. I will say, Casey, you keep saying every time we don't hit the touchdown parlay, which is unfortunately every week, that we're due. We're due, right?
Yeah.
If this was rent, we've been evicted a couple times. So
Yeah.
we really got to hit this one. I think this has got to be the one.
Yeah,
No.
we're evicted and we can't rent ever again.
Yeah, the kids wondering where are we going to
Yeah.
live.
Now
We got we got to figure out a way to pay rent, man.
Yeah.
No, but I'm going with David Njoku. I think that one, like him and Winston, I think have a pretty good connection. They had a good first game together, especially like full game. Browns, again, I just think the Saints are in a rough spot. They won against the Falcons, but I feel like that was a lot of the coach change kind of energy. I don't think they're good enough to let that continue very long. And the Browns are in this weird spot too, where like the variance with Winston makes me think that week to week, like they could contend with most teams or completely fall apart against anybody. So it's one of those, like, I'm going to take my shot that the offense at least works well enough to get Njoku a touchdown here.
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going with Terry McLaurin this week. One of my fantasy teams, I have both Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin, so that's been very Scary Terry is clearly Jaden's favorite target for obvious reasons. He's had a terrific year, and I think in a big matchup that probably will go a long way to deciding the NFC East, I think he's going to be a pretty big part of the game plan. And he scored a lot this year, so.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So for mine, I'm taking Jahmyr Gibbs minus 140 because I think the Lions are probably going to score at least 5 touchdowns total in this game. I think that's safe against this Jacksonville team. And the running backs have just been carrying the load, especially lately. And I think Gibbs should find the end zone, either running the ball or catching it. He's going to find one. I think at least one.
I agree.
Yeah. All right. So again, we got David Njoku, Justin Jefferson, Terry McLaurin, and Jahmyr Gibbs. If you parlay all 4 of those guys together, it's at plus 1,952. So decent return on your investment. Don't have to go too crazy on it. And yeah, does anyone else have any other bets before we end this episode? Football, non-football? No? All right. Well, thank you guys again for watching episode 62. We do appreciate it. We'll see if Jake has to come back next week and say why we don't bet against the Chiefs or not. And I guess he could be we have to ban betting against the Chiefs if he doesn't win it this week. I think that's what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, it probably should have been banned already.
No, we'll see. No, you're the last guy. I mean, you were the one that branched out for Colorado and it worked out. So
That's true.
maybe you're the guy we need to have test this out. So thanks again, everyone, for watching episode 62. We do appreciate it. Please take the touchdown parlay. It is going to hit this week. Go ahead. Sorry, Jake.
Oh, I just said we're due. It has to.
Yeah, we're due.
Rent's due, guys. We got
Rent
figure
is
this out.
due.
We gotta
If it
figure this
doesn't,
out.
if this doesn't hit, I have to sell my house. So
Yeah,
this has to hit.
we don't want
But
that.
yeah, thank you guys again for watching. We do appreciate it. Let us know if there's any bets we should take, and we'll see you again next week at 9:30